All right. Hi, my name is Jasmine Spence, and today I'm just going to be talking about my clinical experience during my capstone. So, a situation where I noticed barriers in healthcare based on systemic injustices was with several of the homeless clients that we had that came in. So, my nurse had told me, like when I first started, my nurse told me of a situation who they had a homeless client who had been there for a while, like they had been there for like months, which is not normal. Like they typically only have people like for 3 days, but this person had been there for months. And they discharged them from the unit, and within less than 1 hour, they were at McKay-Dee in the ED claiming to have suicidal thoughts. They claimed they hadn't been in a behavioral health unit like for 6 months, which is not true because they had been staying in Ogden Regional for like 3 months. And they claimed like the last time they were at one was 6 months ago, which was not true. Um, so one of the nurses who worked between Ogden Regional and McKay-Dee, they recognized that patient and they informed the provider, and they gave the provider discharge information from like Ogden Regional, and the provider ended up confronting him about it, and like the patient was like, "Ah, like you caught me," basically. So, and um what some may even do is like some of the patients like I noticed while caring for is their suicidal thoughts will they claim that they're suicidal as soon as they're about to be discharged, um, which like we try to keep them there when they're no longer in crisis, but they'll claim that they're suicidal when they're about to leave. So we would have to like keep them there longer because we don't want to release someone when they're claiming to be suicidal. One lady we had who was homeless was actually refusing to leave, and we had to call security on her, unfortunately, to get her to leave. So a problem with these barriers is it just makes it difficult to care for like patients in this population because it's hard to tell whether or not they're actually in crisis or if they're just, I mean, looking for a bed to stay. And I can't really blame them. Like, it's hard, but um, we keep the patients there as long as they appear to be in crisis, which is 72 hours, or even depending on how long their insurance will cover the stay, which can be longer. Um, Unfortunately, we just can't keep them there forever just because, I mean, we have to help other people in crisis or else we keep seeing the same, like, patients. And we need to help, like, new other patients that are in crisis. And the unit is not supposed to function as, like, a homeless shelter. Like, we we try to provide resources to help get them somewhere else. So the situation overall, it just gave me more empathy for homeless clients, and it also gave me new insight on how to help people in this population, like how to help improve their outcomes. So when discharging homeless patients, um, we have like a care team that will get together and meet with the patient. So when discharging any patient, not just like homeless clients, but when we're about to discharge them, we have a care team get together, which includes the nurse, the provider, social work, and just essentially anyone else who's like involved in like the care team. And we just come up with solutions with the client to help improve their situation and their outcomes. So we'll offer, like for some of the homeless clients, we'll offer them resources for housing or homeless shelters, give them direction. Um, we'll buy bus tickets for them, Uber rides to get them where they want to go. With one client, we printed out just maps for her, basically, just so she can know where she's going and, yeah, just help improve her outcome. We even or we gave some patient money to purchase a tent so he's not just out on the street. Um, a challenge that we faced while, um, like, trying to discharge a homeless client was the one I was talking about earlier who was refusing to leave. And while she was staying at the unit, she was not really like she wasn't participating in the groups. She was refusing all cares, all meds, and the provider just seemed like wasn't really wanting like to be in the unit anymore, so we decided to discharge her, and she didn't want to leave. We had to end up calling security on her, but we did what we could to provide her with help. We gave her back her belongings. We gave her maps of the area so she can like have a better understanding of where things are in Ogden. and even maps because she came from Salt Lake, and we gave her maps to even potentially go back to Salt Lake if that was something she was interested in. But she ended up refusing all of her belongings in the maps, but she did decide we offered her a sweatshirt as well. She took the sweatshirt and we offered her a bus ticket as well. So that was, I mean, something. It's better than nothing. Um, but yeah, she was still refusing to leave, so we ultimately had to call security on her to get her to leave. Um, so now I'm going to talk about cultural competence. So cultural competence is the ability to communicate effectively and appropriately with people of different cultures. It involves respecting a person's beliefs and values and essentially just assuring that those needs are being met. So, sorry, I was just reading this. So, I have my notes here. A nurse can develop cultural competence by recognizing their own biases and perspectives. So, nurses should avoid making assumptions on things that they're unclear of. They should use active or incorporate active listening skills when working with people of different cultures. They should be able to communicate effectively with their clients and incorporate like resources if they use a language that you don't understand, such as like translation service. So cultural competence in nursing gives the nurse the ability to promote inclusion in healthcare and respect different cultures. Diversity is very important in healthcare, and having a diverse work staff can help promote equity and inclusion in healthcare. So just diversity is very important, and having a diverse work staff can really help improve diversity. So, one healthcare disparity like affecting a minority group during my clinical experience I noticed was during a shift change report. During the shift change report, one of the patients we had was transgender, meaning that they were born female, but they now identify as a male. The nurse from the previous shift, when he was giving us report, he referred to the client using the pronouns she and her, which was improper because the client identifies as a man, and also referred to the client as uh, their birth name, which the client had a clear nickname that they wanted to be preferred to or referred to as, and then my nurse immediately corrected the other nurse and said, "Hey, this client actually is transgender and prefers to go by she, her, and also they prefer to go by their nickname, which is they have the nickname listed there." Um, so yeah, that was something that happened, and then after that, we just continued on with the report. So the nurse may have not known that the client was transgender. It's very possible that they just may have not noticed. Even though we have it listed like on a paper, like of important information, they may have just, I don't know, glanced at it and just not realized. But it is also possible that the nurse was aware that they were transgender, but just since it was behind closed doors and not in front of the patient, he decided to refer to the patient as what they would not want to be called by, essentially. So, let's see. So the nurse, they may have made a mistake, and in order to fix that, he should ensure that he calls the patient by the preferred pronouns, even if it's behind closed doors, just because it's just giving basic respect to the person, because that's what they want to be known as. He also, if he has any biases, he should recognize those biases and just immediately fix them and, work through them. So some interventions, just refer to the client by what they want to be known as, and ensure that the patient feels comfortable, like, because by calling them by their proper pronouns, it helps ensure that they feel comfortable and not that they're feeling discriminated against. It is also important to just be aware of any biases you may have towards this population and recognize them, because people in the transgender community, they have a higher risk of suicide, and it's very important to promote diversity and make sure each patient that you have is getting equal healthcare and respect, because I mean, that's important to promote diversity in nursing. So that's all I have. Thank you.